Our live episode 102, fresh off a Kings win. We missed last
Weird.
night because it was a really bad Kings loss and we weren't ready for that. So we took the night off. We regrouped.
Had to.
We had a full night of sleep, unlike the Kings, who apparently couldn't get a flight last night and had to come out this morning to San Antonio. Big win over one of the teams ahead of them, but they're still way back.
I think you and I right now are on tank gate, so we kind of wanted the Kings to lose tonight, but they went ahead and won by 2 tonight ended up winning by 3, I believe it was, against the Spurs tonight. So
Yeah, we're on tank watch.
we were hoping for a loss, and of course the Kings decided to win because there's nothing more Sacramento Kingsy than to be the 11th seed, and that's what we're going to end up being. We're end up going to get a terrible draft pick like we always do, and we're not going to get any better. And I get to be on both sides of this pod. And that's what I'm talking about.
You're very articulate on the other audio that came through. That was perfect.
Not in this one, though.
Mm-hmm.
So Kings win by 3 tonight. They go ahead and put themselves in that weird little 13 seed I think we're at right now.
That puts us in the 13 seed. But Troy, can the Kings make it to the 11th seed as is tradition? They're currently 2.5 back of the Blazers, 3.5 back of the Pelicans at the 10. I don't think they can get to the 10.
I think we can definitely get to the 11.
Yeah.
I think we can jump the Spurs. I definitely think that we can jump the Blazers because I don't think the Blazers are very good. So it's kind of where we're at. Kings in that favorite spot that they like to be in. They're going to go ahead and get the 6th or 7th pick, maybe the 4th if they got really lucky. So we're rooting for Kings to lose down the stretch, but of course they find ways to win. Son of a bee sting.
They always find a way.
So last night they got absolutely boat race like we talked about. Probably the biggest game of the year if you looked at the schedule, a team you needed to catch, and the Pelicans, and just didn't even really show up.
All right, current Kings odds for the draft lottery. Are you ready for some percentages?
That's what we need to be talking about.
This is what we're talking about. We're not going to talk about the Kings, who cannot play defense for anything. Although tonight, I guess the Spurs, they're just missing shots. Is that what happened? They were up big. I turned around for like 2 minutes, and then they were losing again, and then they had to go on like an 11-3 run to take the lead at the end, and then they almost choked it away at the end. So I don't really want to watch the Kings that much.
Yeah, up 13 at half, and then had to stave off a last-minute shot that could have tied it. So not ideal. Not ideal.
All right, Jay, current Kings draft odds. We're going to start with worst case scenario. So they are currently the 6th worst record in the NBA. Beating San Antonio actually hurt them, although they're getting closer. So we're still behind San Antonio, so 6th. The worst we can do is 10th, which is a 0.2 chance of getting 10th. That's the worst they could do. 9th seed, 3.7% chance of being the 9th seed.
Oh, we're 10 seed anyways. That's hard luck.
8th seed, 20.6. That seems like something the Kings would do. 6th best odds and they get 8th. 7th seed is the best odds that you can get in the 6th seed, which is 29.7% chance.
Yeah, that's usually where they draft. They draft anywhere from 4 to 8 every year, and they never really... Actually, the last 2 draft picks haven't been terrible. So
the 6th seed, 8.6%. They have no opportunity to be the 5th seed because when you move up, you can only move into the top 4. When you're
what's
outside
our 1
of
seed
whatever.
chance? That's all I want to know.
What's
our 1 seed
9% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick.
Can we send the Cavs owner's son? That's all I want to know. Can the Kings find a way to send?
Who have the Kings sent? Well, they sent Vlade, and Vlade was there for Bagley. So let's not do that again.
I say you just send Slamson and G-Wall.
Slamson, or maybe Tyrese Halliburton could come.
Yeah, that'd be nice. He'd probably accept it. He'd accept it.
He probably
Fox won't go. Fox will be in the gym.
Yeah, so
Getting
all the
yoked.
top fours are all some percentage of they're all about 9%. So about 36% chance of being in the top four. 64-ish% chance of being 6 through 10.
Yeah, Kings have never really gotten that lucky end of the draft anytime that they've gotten picks. They did have the two pick one year, and we really did well on that. So maybe we should be happier in the 6 to 10 range. We can maybe get someone, or gosh, I don't even know what the answer is for the Kings. And obviously the Kings don't know the answer to the Kings either. So that's where we're at. So again, if you guys just joining us, Spidey Special Podcast, Kings with the 3-point victory tonight. Next week, if you guys want to go ahead and mark your calendars, we're going to try to jump on twice and do 2 watch parties as the season ends or getting close to the end. We only have so many games left, so we're going to try to jump on as many home games as we can. Being out on the West Coast, it's hard when they're on the road to do any live parties because we got to get the kids down. So join us tentatively Monday and Wednesday night. We'll be jumping on doing Kings watch parties. So book it. Put it on your tab. Jackpot.
All right, Trey, we're going to play an impromptu game of who did the Kings draft in the first round that year?
Oh, I love it. Let's play
Let's
it.
see
If anyone in the chat wants to jump in,
jump in the chat if you know the answer to one of these. The year is 2020. Last year.
Okay.
We'll give you an easy one.
Last year. Wasn't 2020
no, 2 years ago. So we'll
No,
see
that might be
2021.
right.
2021.
Hallie.
No, 2021.
No, Mitchell. Sorry. And then
2020
Hallie.
is Hallie. Who was our first round draft pick in 2019?
Wasn't it like Georgia Papassupagis?
No, we didn't have a first round draft pick in 2019. I believe we traded it to dump some salary in a bad Vlade trade.
What about Georgia Papadopoulos? Was he
He'll be here. 2018.
Okay. Gosh, was that Ben McLemore or is that back further?
No, 2018. They had the second pick in the draft.
Oh, Bagley.
2017. They had the 5th overall pick in the draft. He is currently on the team and the team's leading scorer.
Oh, Fox. That was a good pick, I'd say.
Can you name the other person that we drafted in the first round that year?
Georgia Papassoufilis.
I guess he would have to be that year. Let me scroll back. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think they traded down, but they drafted Zach Collins. I'm just looking at the list here. All right, 2016, 8th overall pick out of the University of Washington. I believe they traded him. And Troy is now gone from the Zoom. All right. Great call. Let me see if I can guess who it was. Troy muted himself and turned off his video, so this is going great.
Yeah.
There he is. He's back.
Good old Troy with technology.
This is a great podcast so far.
Try to get something off the screen. I forgot that the laptop was a touch screen. It kicked me out. So pulling back the curtain a little. I like it though.
2016 8th overall pick out of the University of Washington.
That wasn't Isaiah Thomas. That was way before that. But he did go to Washington. Oh, is that one guy, Tom? What was his name? I can picture him, but I can't think of his name.
Marquise Chris, Troy. Marquise Chris. I believe they traded him as well.
Yeah.
2015, 6th overall pick out of the University of Kentucky.
That wasn't Cousins, was it? Because Cousins wasn't 6. He was 4th, I thought.
Oh, that's way back.
Ben
2015.
McLemore. I don't think he was Kentucky, though.
6 overall out of Kentucky, playing center. I mentioned him on
George
last week's podcast.
Thomas or something like
He
that.
currently plays for the Mavericks.
I'm going to pass on this one.
His nickname is
Willie
Trill.
Cauley Stein.
Yes.
I didn't think he seems older than that.
Well, he's not. The Kings just drafted him, and he's just kind of there. 2014, 8th overall pick. Another lottery pick. University of Michigan. He may have
Georgia
just signed
Papaloukas.
with the Celtics tonight.
Oh, Nick Stauskas. I didn't know. I forgot he went to Michigan.
2013, 7th overall pick. Another lottery pick. University of Kansas, a.k.a. the pizza guy.
Ben McLemore. It just shows how bad that stretch of first-round picks we had. None of them really became anything. And it's one of those things, the Kings are bad with drafting / they're bad with, developing players too, is the issue.
It's both, yeah. 2012, 5th overall pick.
That's Cousins.
University of Kansas. He was
that
picked
other
one
power
pick
forward
before Damian Lillard.
Yeah, it's that one power forward guy.
Thomas Robinson, a.k.a. not in the league anymore. Jared, thanks for joining us on the stream. Maybe you can join us in a game of who did the Kings draft in the first round this year? We're going to move on to 2011. I believe this pick was traded. 7th overall pick. Bismack Biyombo, I do not believe was a King.
No, he did not.
He must have been traded.
Play for the Kings.
That was the year we got Isaiah Thomas with the 60th pick. So we had a good pick in there.
I guess.
2010, 5th overall pick out of Kentucky.
That had to have been Cousins.
That's Boogie, 2010.
I was at Arco. So one thing, Arco, they're tearing it down pretty soon here. And they're having a big thing for it coming up. So they're no longer going to be using Arco Arena out there in Natomas. I'm not sure what they're going to put. I didn't read the whole article because that's not.
They're putting a hospital there. I think they're tearing it down and putting a hospital there.
I heard they were tearing it down because they were using it for some sort of hospital services, but it's old, so they probably just want something new.
Do you want to keep going? How far do you think you can go?
No, I don't think I go any further. I know I'm going to say Jason Thompson for the rest of them. So,
all right, I'm just going to read you some names here, Troy. Tyreek Evans, not the worst pick.
No.
Omri Caspi, Jason Thompson, Spencer Haas, Quincy Doobie, Francisco Garcia, Kevin Martin, Dan Dickow.
Kevin Martin's not bad.
That wasn't
Francisco Garcia.
Then we had, here's a stretch for you. Gerald Wallace, Hedo, Jay Well, Tariq Abdul-Rahid, Peja.
That's why you get
Corliss,
that's why you get
Brian Grant, Bobby Hurley.
That's why you get good. Yeah. That's why you get good. You have homegrown talent, and then you also make good free agent trades, but we just can't make a good pick. We have the last 2 years, which is good trending forward.
Yep. 2 good drafts in a row, but a lot of bad ones in a row before that. You cannot miss that many top 10 picks if you're going to be bad.
And if you do, you're continually going to be bad like we've been, and that's the issue. Player development and drafting guys that aren't good.
So, new GM, hopefully he can right the ship and we're not tanking for nothing. Kings need some big league talent. They got to hit a home run, not like a double.
No bunts.
Yeah, no ground rule doubles. Halliburton was a good pick, but we need home runs. We need all NBA guys, not fringe all-stars.
They got to be better even than Fox.
Yeah, Fox is maybe top 40.
He's a B plus.
No, he's a B. He's the
Oh,
third
okay.
best guy on a good team.
Yeah, but he's the best player that the Kings have seen in a very long time because we're trash.
Correct. Correct. Because they drafted Thomas Robinson and Bagley. And Trill.
Just gets worse and
Oh,
worse.
what a dumpster fire. Any other thoughts on the Kings, Troy?
Not right now. I think, like you said, they're probably going to win a lot of games they shouldn't, and then they're going to end up being the 11th seed. So if you're just joining us, we'll probably be doing game watches on Monday and Wednesday. The Knicks, I can't remember who it is on Wednesday, but the Knicks will be a 7:30 start. So we'll actually get to watch most of the game here on the Spivey Special podcast. So 2 games at home next week. So should be exciting.
Yeah, nice to get
Not
one.
too
Some
not
ones
too
in
many
like a
home games
decent
left,
time zone for us.
especially with some good matchups. I think they could beat the Knicks. Maybe not.
I think they can.
They shouldn't. They can beat anyone, and they can lose to anyone. That's why you're the 11th seed.
Yeah, they got a pretty rough strike. Hey, Locust here.
Locust in the house.
Just a
That was
brutal stretch for the Kings. Mavericks. Now Knicks is winnable. Then it's Nuggets, Jazz, Bulls, Bucks, Celtics, Suns. Oh, Pacers. That'll be a fun game.
At home or
No,
in
it's
Indiana?
in Indiana. And
Be good for
Orlando.
Sabonis.
That's another winnable game.
Yeah, but all these other ones we're not going to win.
Heat, and then the Rockets to end March.
We can beat the Rockets.
There's a few games in there that they could win. Now they will
You can
not win
cuss
all
it
of
out,
those
please.
games.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right, I'm tired of talking about the Kings. They are killing my vibe right now. Troy, you want to talk a little NBA?
Just in general.
In general, yep. Oh.
What's happening?
Oh, I switched the screen. It didn't go well. We'll keep keep it where we are. Give us a little update, Troy. I hear that the MLB is officially canceling some games this season. Are they close?
Not good. They keep saying that they're close. They keep saying, oh, we're going to have another meeting later in the day so we can get it. But it really isn't that close. It's one of those things where I think the MLB wants more teams in the playoffs, and I don't think the players really do. And it's all a money grab. And it'll be interesting to see if they can agree on something because, a lot of these contracts are 5 years, and it's not just for the players playing right now, but for the players coming up here pretty soon. So we'll see. I think also there's talks of a possible salary cap, and all of this other stuff. No more luxury tax where you can basically pay for the roof. So we'll see.
That's what the league needs.
Yeah.
The players won't agree to it.
No, absolutely not. So I think they're pretty far away. They've already canceled the first 2 series for every team in the MLB. I mean, the shortened season doesn't really mean much until you get to under 100 games, I would say. So even if it's 100 games, that's plenty enough to figure out who the best teams in the league are.
Yeah. Did you see Jock Peterson's tweet about where they're at right now?
Yeah, didn't you say everyone gets like a participation trophy?
Said official will play 162 games, 7 innings
7
each.
innings.
32 teams make the playoffs, and everyone gets a participation trophy. The players are so mad right now. It's usually not like this where like the consensus is with the players. Usually we side with the league for whatever reason.
But I liked actually the way that the playoff system looked with 6 teams again. It's just one extra team that they added for the one that I saw.
Yeah.
So basically it'd be 2 teams get a bye, and then instead of the play-in game, the 2 teams get the bye. But it's hard in baseball to give a bye because that's a week.
That's a fully rested rotation. That's totally worth it to go for it, at least, right?
Yeah, it's one of those tough things because then what do you do? Do you do the bye and then you go 7-7 World Series? I guess it's pretty similar to what they do now.
I see they add 2 teams. They go 4
you
divisions
figure it out
each
for
side.
them.
We add a team in Sacramento.
Okay.
No, don't do that because then we'd have outdoor baseball games in Sacramento. That would be terrible.
Dome.
We get a dome in Sacramento. We put it where the train yard is. It's perfect.
Perfect.
We'll get funding and then lose funding and then we'll get it back and then somehow Vivek will buy the team and it'll be a dumpster fire. But we add a team there. We add a team in
Lottie's the GM.
San Antonio or Mexico City or one of those teams where Madden says we could start a new team. So we add the 2 teams. We do 4 teams per division. Then we get division winners in. And we basically mirror the teams from the NFL playoffs. 7 teams
I don't like
per
it.
side.
I say you keep it the same way.
Let's get wild, Troy.
Let's go. Okay, so you get your 3 division winners. I say top 2 from each division gets in. All right.
So that's
and
6.
Then 6, yeah. Best 2 records get a bye. Bottom 4 play a best of 3. So you don't have the super long layoff for the top 2 teams. So best of 3 between 3 and 6 and 4 and 5. Have them battle it out, and then you have your normal, NLCS and NLDS. Goes 3, 5, 7, 7 if you want to win it all.
3, 5, 7, 7. I like it. It goes quick in the early rounds.
Yeah, instead of the one and done, you actually get a 3-game series. So
yeah, I don't like the one and done. Not after 162 games. That doesn't make any sense.
No, you just have a horse. Horse pitches 1 game, 1 error changes the whole season that you've basically just played. You could win 100 games, and it's all on one night.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's different in like basketball and all that, but I think that's what they should do. I'll call them.
Do you have a guess as to when the MLB season starts? Do you have a date in your head?
I'm thinking like May 1st.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Because you got to think. I'm thinking May 1st just because I think they'll figure it out here in the next 2 weeks. So mid-March, you're going to give them some spring training time. I think eventually once everything gets going, it'll be May 1st when we'll see our first game.
That sounds about right. I could see that.
Maybe June. It just depends how much they want to fight and how much they want to drag it out. I just don't think that they understand that they're not that popular of a sport to begin with.
Right.
So now all the diehards are not thrilled. Already we haven't been able to go to games because of COVID. It's better now, but like you just have all these ebbs and flows from your sport. Now you want to sit out, and I don't think it's good. I think of all the major sports, I think baseball could be the first one to fold.
Ooh, that's a bold call. Before hockey?
I mean, absolutely. I love hockey. I think a lot of people like hockey compared to baseball. It's just a quicker sport. More scoring. I don't know. Baseball's more of a sophisticated, takes a long, long time. It's like going playing around a golf.
Yeah, it's even longer now. They do all the pitching changes and all that shenanigans.
Don't like it.
No complete
Get
games
it out of
anymore.
here. No, you're seeing 5, 6 pitchers a game instead of 1 or 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. I think they should max at 3. Your first guy gets lit up. Sorry, you only have 3 pitchers today.
That'd be kind of fun. Players union wouldn't like that for all those long and middle reliever guys, and the setup guys, and the situational left-handed pitchers in the bullpen.
Yeah, I saw a stat that Nolan Ryan or one of those guys threw like a 232 pitch complete game, something like that.
Cy Young has some crazy stats like that.
You'd never see that. Didn't one guy get struck by lightning and then he came back in and finished the game pitching?
That sounds
like the 20s or 30s.
That sounds about right.
I think they should have to play in lightning.
Well, they had guys that like went and fought in World War II and then came back and then made the All-Star team again after they came back.
Baseball I don't know the competition level was back then though.
Ted Williams is one of those guys that went to war and came back. He's pretty good.
Again, it's so hard to compare
Eras.
eras.
Yeah.
But I definitely think he'd be able to figure out a shift.
Yeah. Please do the shift. I will just.
I think
You
it
mean I
was
can just bunt down the third baseline every time? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Joey Gallo was getting all up. He came out and made a comment. He goes, "It's not fair. I can't hit any doubles or triples anymore when there's 6 people in the outfield."
It's like,
And
yeah,
I
you
can't
can.
remember. Ted Williams hit like 439 or something, and they were doing similar stuff to him. So
Yeah.
babies these days. If you want to hit a tank, hit a tank, or bunt it down third baseline.
All right, Troy. I need to hear about this Disneyland trip. Give me some. I need some food stories. Tell me what you got. I saw some pictures. I didn't see all of them. How many churros did you eat? Let's start with that.
Well, let's start at the hotel. So we stayed at our hotel that we always like to stay at. It's across 5, so it's like a 10-minute drive. You got to do the parking and the tram and all that. So main reason we stayed there was for the breakfast, and the breakfast
And
was
the
really
cats.
good. The breakfast was really good, and they have the happy hour every night if you're there from 5 to 6:30. So the first night we got there, we got our free drink and everything, and then we get up 6 o'clock, go down for breakfast at 6:30. So we were at rope drop both mornings over at Disneyland in California, as we'll get to here at the end. There's a bacon shortage though, so there was no
What?
bacon for the breakfast.
Did you
Right.
like? Did you throw a fit? How did that work? Do you get a refund for your room if there's no bacon at the
Yeah.
buffet?
Right. So the eggs were really good. They have these eggs with like peppers and onions in it, so that kind of made up for it. They had loaded tots, they had potatoes, pancakes, and everything. So the loaded tots were really good. They had onions and like chives and cheese all in them. So that made up for the no bacon. They had the omelet bar popping. I wasn't feeling an omelet either morning that we ate there, but the bacon shortage, we got to get some answers for that. I'm not thrilled about that.
Is
So
that a
I wrote
national
it.
thing? Do we write a letter to our senator? How does that work?
I'm not sure. I have it. I just don't know where to address it to yet. The letter's already written. So the first day we rope dropped Disneyland. We went into whatever the kid little area is,
Like
Fantasyland.
Fantasyland or whatever.
Yeah, we were gonna go on Peter Pan, and that was broke. So we go over and we rode Dumbo. Then we jumped to Mr. Toad. We did a few of those kiddie rides, and then we got all the big ones out of the way. I think the first day at Disneyland, we just had Disneyland. The second day was the park hopper, but first day we rode, I believe, 17 rides, so we
That's
did
pretty
pretty
good.
good. We knocked out quite a few. Did Indiana Jones. My son Maddox, he's 3. He loved Big Thunder. He had his hands up the whole time. It's
That's awesome.
good thing about Big Thunder though is you can fit a kid in between 2 adults. So
Okay.
it's not
So he
so
went
it's
with
not
you and Sarah then. Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of cool because it's a little less scary than when you're with just a kid and an adult. So he was
Sure.
just sitting between us, which was nice. Space Mountain was cool, but a lot of things are being like refurbished and like we're working on them. Like Splash Mountain was closed, monorail was closed, just a lot of stuff like that. And then on the other side in California, the Rapids ride was closed, so it was 86 both days too. So it was a little toasty
That's a heck
down
of a day
there,
to have those two rides be closed.
right? Because they figured it wasn't going to be hot during this time, so they might as well fix the water ride. So food wise, I had 2 churros when I was there, one in California and one in Disneyland. Um, trying to think what we had for lunch. We went to this place called the Bengal Tiger or something like that
Okay.
in
Bengal
over
barbecue.
by yeah, right across from Jungle Cruise.
Sure.
So we got all these skewers. I got a pork belly skewer. It was
Ooh.
delicious. And then they had these like tiger claws, they called them. They were just basically like cheese bread sticks.
Does Anthony know of these cheese breadsticks? That sounds like right up his alley.
I don't know. They were pretty good. So we ate there. I can't remember to save my life where we ate for lunch, but very good trip. First time on the Cars ride, the Radiator Springs Racers. I'd never been on it
That's a
before.
cool one.
So we rope dropped to California, and everyone ran to that ride. And it was broken the first hour and a half of the day. So everyone ran over there. So we ended up on Mater, that one with the tractors that kind of
Yeah.
just slings you around. Though, again, jump back to Disneyland. If you've never been on that Star Wars ride, the new one, I know you have, but the ride itself wasn't like anything to write home about. But the amount of detail and like the rooms you go in and
Mm-hmm.
everything that she did, especially if you know Star Wars. I don't know anything about Star Wars, but it was
It
just
was
so
pretty exciting for me
impressive.
who knew Star Wars. It was less exciting for everyone else that went with us last time. They're like,
Yeah,
who
I
are
mean,
these people? And it's like, it's the people from Star Wars. I know all their names.
so what kind? So there's a gal, I guess, in Star Wars. She has some accent. What kind of accent is it? Raya or what?
Her
That's not
name's
her name.
Ray.
Ray. What kind of accent should she have? Because the lady who is doing it, she was up on this like stage or something over by one of the rides, and her accent was awful. But I don't know what she's actually
Did
supposed
she
to
have like a
sound like.
Jamaican accent? What kind of accent was it that it was
It
terrible?
was like
You
Tennessee
be
slash.
looking at the wrong droids, man. Was it like that?
Yeah, it was like half Tennessee, half like Australian. It was like so awful. Like she was forcing it so hard, but I don't know what she's supposed to sound like, so I can't really say.
I
If I
think
was
she's from
giving her the
Tatooine, so I
business,
don't know what accent that would be.
I'm just letting you know. If you go to
Because like Luke
Disneyland,
Skywalker's from there, but so is like Jabba the Hutt and some of those other people. So I don't really know how to tell you what their accent should be. None of it really makes sense to me.
so we also went to that other ride they have there, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica or whatever it's called,
Yeah,
where you fly the plane.
Smuggler's Run.
Smuggler's Run, yeah, and we went on it twice, and we let Maddox be the pilot twice. So when we got done, the
Nice.
plane was at like 7% because he was the one going left or right,
Yeah,
and we just crashed into everything.
that's
The
awesome
other
though.
the other people we were with, we went just me, Sarah, and Maddox. So there's 6 seats in those planes. And we went with this other young couple, and they didn't want to do anything, so they just let Maddox fly it, and then we just hit everything. The whole thing was shaking. We even went on
That's awesome.
we went on Star Tours. I haven't been on that one in forever. So if you're going to Disney anytime soon, the Lightning Pass or Genie Plus, whatever it is
Genie Plus.
so absolutely worth it. But those big rides you have to pay additional to go on.
Just three of
Like,
them.
yeah, but I mean that's $40, $20 for the Star Wars ride, $10 if you're on the other one for the new Spider-Man ride, which wasn't worth it. Did you guys go on that one?
No, because we didn't want to pay for it.
It don't. It
The kids
it's
were like,
just
everyone was exhausted on the second day. So
as we left pretty early. The first day was like a 12-hour day. The other one we were at El Torito by 5:30.
there you go. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, the Spider-Man ride, it was weird. Like you did this and like you actually shot the webs and hit the spiders. It was cool how it was set up, but I don't know $10 worth.
Right. But it's probably not worth 2 hours of wait either.
No, I wouldn't have gone on it if that was my other option. I didn't end up going on Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not my favorite ride, so I sat out on that one.
It's
Let
because
the
you're a
other ones
chicken moo.
go. I did go on this jellyfish ride though. It went up like 100 feet, so
Nice.
pretty big news. Yeah, and then we were sitting down, we were eating, and everything's a mobile order now for like food and drinks and everything. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to wait in line, which is really cool. The Disneyland app is pretty awesome, but we didn't know what anything was called, so we ordered beers, and it ended up on. We were sitting almost Cars Land, and the beers were on the other side of the pier by the Ferris wheel. So I had to go all the way over there and get them and walk all the way
I
back.
had to do that with a corn dog for Lucas. We ordered it. She's like, well, it's right over there. It's like a 15-minute walk through a parade. And then he
Yeah,
like
they
didn't
didn't,
even eat the corn dog.
right? We drank the beers. Don't worry about
I
that.
saw the cups. That was an impressive stack of cups.
Well, we all had different things. We had Japanese mules, we had beers, we had margaritas.
There was tridents and horses and a man on fire.
By the end of it, anything could have happened, and we agree with you on it. So,
Brick killed a guy.
oh, the Incredible Coaster or whatever, that was a fun one.
Yeah, I like
I
that
hadn't
one.
been on that one in a while. Very smooth.
It's a good
I think
ride.
the last time I went on it was called something else.
Screaming
Screaming over.
California
Oh, we went
Screaming or
on.
something.
Yeah, we also went on the Soaring over California. That's a pretty cool ride.
Was it
It just kind of
California
worked.
again, or was it the world?
It was the world. Sorry, it's coming back to California in a couple days because the food and wine thing starts on the 4th tomorrow.
Good. No more orca jumping out of the water at me.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, well, when did Zach get here? This is ridiculous. I didn't know he was coming on this trip. Yeah, pretty fun trip. Ton of people for a Monday and Tuesday in March.
Yeah.
But I guess every day's like that now. Now that what's kind of nice, the mask thing was lifted, so you didn't have to wear it. We didn't wear it once. Even on the tram, they didn't care, which was cool.
Yeah,
Even
that's
though
cool.
they said that the tram and buses, they would be asked to wear them, but no one was.
Sweet.
Pretty cool.
Sounds like a fun trip.
Very fun trip.
All right, Trey, you
Tiring.
have any grab bags lined up for us tonight?
If you could live in any Disneyland ride, what ride would you live in?
If I could live in any ride, Tom Sawyer Island. That's where I would live.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't pick the Tiki Room.
No, that one would be kind of obnoxious with all the singing birds and stuff. I think Tom Sawyer
Yeah.
Island would be pretty quiet at night. I think there's a bunch of cats that live out there, but I think I'd be okay.
I'm trying to think. I just throw out questions. I don't even think of
I mean,
the
there's just like
answers.
buildings, and then like hardly anyone goes out there. I think that would be, if I was gonna live there, that'd be a good place for
I
it.
might live on one of the ships.
Oh, okay. On like the riverboat,
Yeah,
or
or
like
the
the
big,
Columbia that's just kind of parked there.
or I'd live on like Splash Mountain, just in with the bears. Are they changing that up? I heard.
They're changing it to Princess and the Frog.
Nice.
Can't
I've
be
never. I
singing
don't think
Zippity Doo Dah, Troy. That's racist.
that's true. I don't think I've ever seen Princess and the Frog. Is it any good?
It's okay.
I'm
Maybe
just
you
not a
want to
big
eat a beignet.
Oh, we had beignets. I forgot to say that. They were delicious. And then the second day we had it was Asian food. It was like a teriyaki rice bowl basically in
Nice.
California land. Still can't think where we had lunch.
Carson's asking us, how did the Kings almost lose? What happened? They are bad at defense. And Lonnie Walker is like a legend when he plays against the Kings. He hit 3 after 3 coming down the stretch. The game was basically over. It was like an 8-point game with like a couple minutes left. And
Kings don't know how to make free throws, so they were splitting their free throws. So getting 1 point, they get 3. We get 1, they get 3. Catch up pretty quick that way.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Kings were up pretty big in the third, and they just kind of gave up a pretty good run. They had some really bad possessions in the third quarter. Throwaway pass, jump pass, jump pass.
Barnes had
bad.
one, just hit him like right in the hands and he just threw it to him. You know who's been really impressive though the last 3 games is Trey Lyles. He's been playing really good for the Kings.
Well, the one game was good, and then he had like a game where he scored like 4 points.
But that's still good for that position.
I guess so. The Kings need a power forward and a shooting guard, like a starter level player.
My issue is the coach. It'll always be the coach until we get a good coach because every time in the press conference, there's no way this should have happened or this should happen or this should happen. Well, you're the coach. You're the one who decides that.
Right.
It's like, how many times are you going to say I need to have Sabonis and Fox, at least one of them on the court at all times? Then you have them off the court The other team goes on like a 10-0 run.
And they don't call timeouts, and none of the stuff makes sense, Trey.
Do you think we'd have a better record if we kept Luke Walton?
Absolutely.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. He's a better
Kind of
coach
thinking
than Alvin Gentry. He's not
Yeah, I just think
there's just not enough talent on this team to win these games, and there's too many new players.
Yeah.
And none of them, the players that they traded for or currently kept, like they traded for someone that's not great at defense to add to a team of terrible defensive players.
Yeah, you're going to have to bring in a coach that can get the most out of the guys on that end of the floor, have some good schemes, or maybe throw in some zones or some different looks that can just shake things up.
He's like a bottom 2 guard in the NBA at on-ball defense.
That's what I'm saying. If you could mix in maybe, 30-40% of the time some sort of zone where Fox can just run up top, maybe like a soft 1-3-1 or something weird like that. The only problem with this
now, they just do bunch ball and they like do double teams for no reason and then don't actually trap, and then someone has a wide open 3 over and over and over again.
That's the NBA, baby. Hoist it. So yeah, Kings came up with a big win tonight, which we were hoping they would lose because we're on tank mode. We want to get a top pick, but we're going to get
31% from 3 and 1, so good for them.
God, I think the Spurs are like, oh yeah, you want some good picks? No, we do. Challenge. None of those teams are good enough to make any noise in the 10-9 matchup, I don't think.
The Lakers are currently losing by 20 to the Clippers in the third quarter. I'm here for it, Trey. I'm very excited about this.
So I read this thing. Let's get your thoughts on this.
LeBron is currently a minus 22.
Let me get your thoughts on this.
That's good, right?
Everyone's saying LeBron would have more rings, blah, 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 blah.
If what?
If KD, you know what I mean? It takes KD and Curry just to beat LeBron. It's what people are basically saying. But my theory is LeBron's the one who started, for the most part, all this big 3 nonsense. If you don't count the Celtics, which
but those
I don't
were
really
trades.
count.
That's different. That's not jumping teams.
Yeah. So I think LeBron wouldn't even have.
Grudgingly went there.
I don't think. So how many did he win with the Heat?
2.
2. 1 with the Cavs, and then 1 with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
He could have 2.
They should have won the one against Dallas.
Yeah, that was.
They should have lost the one against the Warriors where they were down 3-1, and Draymond kicked the guy in the balls and got suspended for Game 5 or whatever that was.
Yeah, I heard him come out and say too that changed my whole career. I could have been a Finals MVP. Instead, I don't have that ring.
Mm-hmm.
That changed the whole momentum. I was about it at that time. I didn't like the Warriors.
He easily could have lost the one against the Spurs where Ray Allen hits that corner 3 with no time left on the clock.
But I mean, we could do this with any teams. We do it all the time with Tom Brady. Did you hear those little rumors in the mill that people are saying
where's he going to go?
Wherever he wants. He's Tom Brady. Is he still? Would he be under some sort of penalty?
What team has 3 really good wide receivers, a really good offensive line, and a top 10 defense that he could go to like the Bucs did?
Not the Packers.
I don't think there is one. The Packers.
Niners.
The Packers might be it, but he's not going to play in Lambeau.
Niners.
There's a reason he played in Florida, Troy.
Niners, really good offensive line that runs the ball well. You got Deebo Samuel and a really, really good defense.
And he grew up a Niner fan, so maybe.
Do you think if Tom Brady was on the Niners the last couple of years, they would have won a Super Bowl?
Over Garoppolo? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
They would have made some noise at least.
Well, Garoppolo.
And you got to assume that they add Gronk to the mix too. Or Antonio Brown or somebody.
Going Gronk, Kittle.
Yeah. Grunt Kettle would be a little unfair.
I'm here for that. What do you think Rodgers is going to do?
I think he's going to end up on the Packers because there's going to
Me
be
too.
nowhere for him to go.
I've heard a lot of reports where he's like, yeah, I'm probably just going to be on the
I don't know where he
Packers.
thinks he's going to go. I mean, it'd have to be nobody really has enough.
Niners.
Nobody really has enough salary cap for him. I don't even think the Niners really do unless he's willing to take a pay cut. Maybe they could trade him to Seattle, but then he's in a worse spot.
No, I think the GM came out today said we're not trading Russ.
Yeah. There's not really a lot of places where he could go is the thing.
Do you
That's
think
why
Trey
Russ hasn't been
Lance?
traded. That's why Deshaun Watson didn't have anywhere to go. There's no one that has all the cap room for these guys and have something to give back to the team because they're going to want players to go with it.
Do you think Trey Lance is going to give more to the Niners than what Garoppolo has the last 2 years?
No, I think he'll be a worse passer, but he'll be running. So maybe they'll find something that he can do above average.
Yeah,
To
they'll
help
have
that
to win.
offense. They'll run a lot better when there's an actual threat of the option going to the quarterback instead of Garoppolo.
Yeah, I think he'll be good enough. That defense is still pretty good, but it's the hard thing about a good defense is it's so hard to keep a good defense together and healthy multiple years in a row. You don't see it very often in the NFL where a defense is dominant for longer than 3-4 years.
That's why you don't draft defenses early in fantasy football because it's hard to say year to year. The Jags were like a 6th-round draft pick in fantasy football, and they ended up being like a mid-tier defense because you just can't count on it.
Yeah. Well, it's just one injury can change an entire defense.
Mm-hmm.
One little guy. And that's the thing when your defense is good.
The Rams' defense without Aaron Donald is different.
Well, yeah, that's easy to say. But then you add Von Miller and...
The Steelers' defense without TJ Watt was different. It was bad.
Now, what do you think about your team?
Oh, they're going to get some sort of random veteran quarterback, and I'm here for it. I think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. Every mock I've seen pretty much has that going on. And I keep getting alerts about quarterback hand sizes and weird stuff about the Steelers. So I think they'll probably draft one. I think they'll also sign a veteran that'll probably start this year.
I've heard a couple interviews on the radio that I think they think it's going to be Mason Rudolph that's going to take it.
God, I hope not. God, I hope
be
not.
the starter.
I don't.
Because I think what they're
going
to do is basically what they're going to do is punt this season.
Tomlin doesn't know how to punt a season. They'll be 8-1 again.
Because I don't think there's good quarterbacks coming out this year from what I've heard, and next year is going to be a good year for quarterbacks.
They could get Trubisky. They could get Jameis Winston. They could get Garoppolo. There's some names. There's some decent.
Garoppolo's not awful.
They need like a Kirk Cousins. That's what they need. They need Kirk Cousins, like a slightly above average quarterback with that good defense and a.
I'm telling you, Garoppolo, I know everyone around here doesn't like him, but the guy's a winner. I mean, he's better than...
I'll take that.
It's better than what Big Ben's been the last 2-3 years.
Ben's been bad since his injury. And that was like 3 years ago.
And that's the thing, again. You put Garoppolo, on another good defense with some good weapons. I like Najee Harris.
The receivers the Steelers have are good. They just...
That had a quarterback that what's his name? Faramaki or whatever.
Yeah, Pat
Faramont Mike Jones.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite ride at Disneyland? And then what's your favorite ride at California Adventureland, if you had to say? I know we're doing a lot of Disney, but we just jump all over the place if you guys are just following us.
Incredicoaster is my favorite ride at California Adventure. And Indiana Jones is my favorite ride at Disneyland. Except at night, Matterhorn's my favorite ride at night.
Last 17 times I've been, the Matterhorn's been closed.
It's broken a lot.
I don't even remember the last time I went on the Matterhorn. I really liked. I guess it was different this time. Big Thunder, just with the with Maddox and all that. But Space Mountain was really fun. We went on that twice. Indiana Jones was just okay to me. It's a little herky jerky. It's not like what I remember. And I didn't even get to go on Splash Mountain.
It's tough.
So I would say Incredicoaster and Big Thunder. Those are my choices.
Do you have another grab bag lined up? Speaking of us going in a weird order.
No. Do you have a grab bag?
I do not have a grab bag, Troy.
Perfect.
Good show.
That's how 102 ends, baby. 102.
All right. So we've got 2 shows lined up for next week, Monday night and Wednesday night, which is our normal night. We'll be doing live shows. We'll be broadcasting during the game with our updates and our comments, and we will be rooting for a tank, although the Kings are going to do everything in their power to get to the 11 seed, as is tradition.
Tank Gate.
Make sure you're following us on social media at Spivey Special on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and TikTok is Spivey Special Podcast, I believe. So go check that out as well. Make sure you're subscribed to the show on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you could rate the show on iTunes, if that's where Apple Podcasts, if that's where you listen to it, that helps the show out quite a bit. We have merch, streamlabs.com/Spivey Special 1 or something. We can type it into the Twitch chat here. I could get that up there if you have that there.
Our hats are in the mail, so we'll be getting them here pretty soon.
Streamlabs.com/Spivey Special Podcast 1/merch. We'll
the
have
hats
our
are
hats
point.
here. The hats look pretty cool. I had to redesign the logo because it did not work the first time. So we will have those soon. Make sure you check those out.
Christmas is coming in about 9 months. So if you guys want to get on there and order some Spivey Special Podcast stuffs, I would probably do it.
We have our match with the
tentatively scheduled for next Sunday. We'll find out for sure. We're getting confirmed this Sunday. We will be posting on our social media if that match is on, or we'll be posting different things of us preparing about it. We'll be talking smack both Monday and Wednesday night if that match is on. So get excited. Spivey Special Podcast.
Got a lot going on right now, Trey. Love it.
We're playing in a charity golf tournament on April 9th. We got March Madness in 2 weeks from tonight. So, 2 weeks from tonight. Okay.
2 weeks from tonight. That'll be a weird week for us, so we'll figure something out. Maybe Loco will come on and be the guest host for us.
Yeah, we will be looking for a guest host because I will be in Reno for March Madness in 13 days. That Wednesday night when we normally do our show, I will not be here, so Zach might be going solo or with a friend. So if you want to join Zach for the show, for old number 104,
hit me up on Twitter.
Everyone's doing it.
All right, Troy, I think that's all we got.